Kingdom Hearts 3 arriving on PC a few years back, it now means that the experience of the game can be enhanced and improved through the power of mods. There are well over 2,000 mods that currently exist for the game, but what are some that I would consider to be absolutely essential? Mods that can elevate the game. Today we'll be looking at 15 Kingdom Hearts 3 mods that are absolutely essential for anyone getting into KH on PC. The third mod to ever grace the Kingdom Hearts 3 Nexus was Remove Wall Effects by 13th Vessel, a simple mod that removes the visual effects off walls, indicating that you can run up them. When the game first released, this was one of the most requested features to be implemented via a patch, an option to remove those visual wall effects. So it's that old case of if the devs aren't going to do it, someone in the community likely will. Next we have enemy health bars by Aproidex. This makes it so that all of the enemy health bars are visible. You'll also be able to see other information when locked onto an enemy, like their current level and name. There's an options menu for this mod to customize it to your liking. You can change the visual style of the health bar, what information you want displayed on the health bar, the opacity, and even the scale. I also appreciate how boss and elite enemies have different looking health bars. Kingdom Hearts has never had the option to make all of the enemy health bars visible, so it's nice to actually see the status of all enemies, especially when you're in larger fights. Text Revamp by Saro. This mod is a text overhaul to change all of the names of different systems, items, abilities throughout the game to bring them back to classic Kingdom Hearts terms. There were a lot of different things throughout Kingdom Hearts 3 that were renamed, like for instance the summon system is now known as the Link system, or once more was changed to Withstand Combo. So it was a tad bit jarring booting up Kingdom Hearts 3 for the first time to find out that a lot of names that had been the same name for years on end at that point had been changed for KH3. Link has been reverted back to summon, and all of the summon names are now just the character names that you're summoning. A whole bunch of abilities have been reverted back to their original names, like Withstand Combo is now Once More. Block is now Guard. Treasure Magnet is now Draw. Focus is now known as Drive, and for any of the Focus Restoration items, they're now known as Drive Recoveries. The suffixes of Grand Magic have been changed from Za to Ja. If we're going by Final Fantasy terms, this is the correct suffix for Grand Magic, and Square Enix actually used the Ja suffix for 0.2 Birth by Sleep. Most of the Synthesis Material family names have been changed back to the traditional Kingdom Hearts 2 ones, like for instance Pulsing is now Power and Writhing is now Dark. Those are only a few changes. There are a whole lot more to restore a lot of those names back to their traditional ones. Next we have Dynamic Maps by David RM. The mini-maps function throughout the Kingdom Hearts games is pretty underused and, in all honesty, a little bit useless. It's not as if Kingdom Hearts has wide open areas. Although KH3 certainly offered these, it's not hard to get lost in these games. This mod will make the minimap an important component of the heads-up display, now displaying all of the important things located throughout a level, like small and large treasure chests, lucky emblems, ingredients, money locations, Moogle photo mission targets. Now you could argue that this sort of takes away from the game, having to actually explore the areas to find all of the treasure chests and different things to find is sort of part of the exploration side of the game, and I would have to agree, but for multiple playthroughs after your first one, this is most certainly handy to ensure you don't miss anything. Party REHAUL AI by Sabretooth. The AI of party members has never really been too great throughout the Kingdom Hearts games, and the same kind of applies in Kingdom Hearts 3. They're at least good enough to get the job done, but there's always room for improvement for party member AI, and that's exactly what this mod seeks to do. Both Donald and Goofy received the most changes here, but this mod also applies to all other party members throughout the game as well. Donald and Goofy now receive abilities in a completely different order when leveling up. The idea behind this is to better prioritize abilities that are more viable and get better use out of the actual party member depending on their combat style earlier on in the game. We've got some brand new abilities, like Donald being able to use Fire-Raga, Thundagger, and even the Hyper Hammer spells for close quarters magic use. Donald can even pull off a slow effect on enemies if he manages to hit them with his staff. Goofy now has MP Gift and MP Gift Gear to be able to sacrifice his own MP to give it to party members. Donald and Goofy even receive some stat increases along with some new slots, Goofy getting a new armor slot and Donald getting a new accessory slot. There's even a brand new AI behavior style that you can customize your party members with, known as Sora Target, meaning for what enemy you're currently locked onto, that party member will also focus on as well. And there are also big changes to just the general AI behavior of all party members. Looking at Donald, he's a lot more aggressive with magic now. Some of Goofy's abilities like Turbo or Tornado now has armor, meaning that it's harder for enemies to knock him out of the attack. He'll use Tornado more and only use his discus throw attack towards aerial enemies. Again, all of these changes are also applied to all of the minor party members that you come across throughout the game, and even they also have brand new abilities. This is great because I feel like most people don't really focus too much on customizing the minor party members, as well as even really changing up the AI behavior in the customization part of the menu. This mod will encourage more of that to actually happen to get the most out of your party members. Better Feeling Combat by Doge X Tylom. I'm a huge fan of this mod because it does 3 things to make the combat system feel better. Now the first thing here is personal preference, and it's totally up to the person whether or not they like this kind of thing, but screen shake for every hit that connects with an enemy. For some action games, sometimes developers like to implement a screen shake effect for every time you hit an enemy to create this sense of impact. So that's what this mod does. Every single time we attack an enemy, the screen will shake. Now for some people, this can be a little bit distracting, and the mod actually does come with a menu to change and customize the intensity of the screen shake effect. Personally, I do find it a bit distracting, and I think the best sweet spot here is having the minimum set at 1 and the maximum set at 2. That way, we've only got a very subtle screen shake for every swing we take. The other really cool thing about this mod is controller vibration for every hit. There are slight controller vibrations for Kingdom Hearts 3, but vibration isn't really used all too much. This will make it so that every single hit we take, along with that camera shake effect, means that the controller will vibrate. We can now physically feel every single swing. And lastly is a hit slow effect for enemies. So whenever an enemy lands an attack on you, there will be a slight brief moment where the game will slow down. Again, this is another technique that developers like to use for action games, whether for the player dealing damage or for the player receiving damage. Again, this is a way of elevating the feeling of feedback and impact. Now this effect is only enabled for the enemy's first attack, and this effect won't reset until you haven't received any damage for about 2 seconds. Next we have the most downloaded mod of all time, Improved Movement by Aproidix, and for very good reason. The feeling of controlling Sora and just the movement in general in KH3 is very different to any other Kingdom Hearts game that came before it. It certainly doesn't feel as smooth or as snappy as Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. This is because Kingdom Hearts 3 is a modern video game with a lot of extra additional animations. The speed of some of these animations simply just play out for too long, which can directly impact just the general feeling of movement. So this mod will improve every single aspect of movement in Kingdom Hearts 3, increasing animation speeds as well as gravity. Running feels a lot better, jumping feels a lot better, we can now use air slide a lot more consistently, turning for gliding has now been significantly improved as it sort of feels in Kingdom Hearts 2. The mod does come with a customization menu, so if there are some values and certain things that you do want to change for yourself as they don't quite feel right, then you can customize this any way you want. However, the preset values are absolutely spot on to really improve in every single way just the general movement and feeling of controlling Sora throughout the game. If I were to recommend only one Kingdom Hearts 3 mod to install, this would absolutely be it. Camp Walk by Dasmantissimo. Another Kingdom Hearts tradition that was oddly changed for Kingdom Hearts 3's camp menu. The characters just standing there idle, staring deep into our soul. Whatever happened to the characters getting their cardio in even if the game is paused? Well, this mod restores that. We can now have the classic camp menu walk within Kingdom Hearts 3. Dream Drop Distance Flow Motion Color by Nokuto. Another interesting change to the game was the color of flow motion, a mechanic introduced in Dream Drop Distance, which was a pinky purpley color. Now, I can sort of understand why Square Enix did this. Maybe it's to represent the fact that we're using this ability outside of the realm of sleep. Flow motion appears the pinky purpley color within the realm, but outside, it's blue. But that's simply not good enough. I love the pink effect. I want it back. This mod will do exactly that. ReStyle by Trueblade Modder. This is almost to the same degree 3 as improved movement, but this mod here focuses more so on combos and the combat system. This mod provides so much additional freedom to the combos throughout the game. It doesn't matter if it's Sora's base combo or while he's using one of his forms. Now you control how fast Sora will perform a combo. Each press of X will actually cancel out the frame of the animation for each stage of Sora's combo. Generally, even if you're button mashing, you have to wait until Sora performs the full animation of each stage of a combo before he can perform his next attack. Now it's up to you if you want to frame cancel one part of a combo to move into the next stage. This also allows you to cancel out of attacks a lot easier, especially looking at finishes. It means that once we perform the last part of the finisher, we can cancel out of it immediately to either get out of harm's way or to do whatever we need to do next. This is especially useful for forms that are slow attacking. For the likes of double arrow guns or magic launcher, we can now perform the combos for these forms incredibly quick, giving us almost some Devil May Cry shooting action. If you end up using better feeling combat, improved movement, and restyle here, you will truly have a refreshed, overhauled take on both the movement and combat system of the game. Dynamic HUD by Anti. Another simple mod, but one that's cool nonetheless. Now whenever you're out of combat, the character portraits displaying health and MP will be hidden. It won't be until you engage back in combat that the character portraits will return and the minimap will disappear. I like this for the sake of clean aesthetics. If you want to see the current status of your health and MP, you can always pause to the camp menu. Another incredibly popular mod is Remind ability integration by Explode. With the release of the Remind DLC also came a game update for Kingdom Hearts 3 introducing a bunch of brand new action-based combo modifiers. The issue here is that you only unlock the Remind abilities once you've finished the game. So this is a way of integrating those abilities into the progression of the base game. Here's the list of abilities that you'll get at certain points throughout the base game. The Remind story scenario also provided some additional MP bonuses for defeating some of the bosses. Those MP bonuses have been changed so that you now get them throughout the base game. This is where you get them. This mod is an absolute must-have, especially if you want to use the Remind abilities and get the additional MP throughout the base game. Fixed Party MP Bar by Blaster Grimm. For some reason, on the PC version of Kingdom Hearts 3, the MP bar for party members on the heads-up display has never appeared correctly. Even if a party member has full MP, it only displays half of the gauge. So this mod will fix that so that the gauge completely fills up with blue MP goodness. This is so you can accurately determine how much MP your party members currently have. This is one of those things where it's annoying if you know about it, so if you do know about it, it's good to know there is a fix for it, as this doesn't exist on the console versions. Color corrected characters by Idiots. This significantly improves the blacks and the colors for all of the main character models throughout the game, making the characters sort of pop a little bit more. As some of the colors for the character models do appear a little bit washed out, this breathes a little bit more life back into these models. Idiots explained that they wanted to create this in order to bring them in line with how their models appear during the CG cutscenes. I'm a personal fan of color, and if I get more color on my characters, that's always a win. And lastly is a big change to the heads-up display for the character portraits and health and MP bar. This is a combination of 3 different mods created by different creators. But if you want to make the heads-up display for health and MP just look a little bit more clean and sort of in line with Kingdom Hearts 2, along with also having illustrated portraits, as I miss them dearly, and I am not a fan of the 3D renders, with even having an illustrated Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora for the heads-up display, well, you can have that. So those are what I would classify as essential mods. Looking at the cosmetic related ones, they're not as important, but certainly are cool nonetheless. If you were to put all of these mods together, you'd pretty much be providing yourself a Final Mix experience for Kingdom Hearts 3, as Final Mix was not just known to provide more content, but additional tweaks and improvements to previous Kingdom Hearts games. A good amount of these mods are all things Square Enix ideally should have implemented officially themselves, so we can only hope that Square are paying attention to the mod space to get further inspiration on different systems, tweaks, and enhancements that should be implemented into Kingdom Hearts 4. As always guys, the mod links are in the description down below in case you want to install any of them for yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything going on here. Check out my other social media platforms. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons. I hope you're all having a fantabulous day, and we'll talk real soon.